Well, Caroline Lucas joins me now. And Caroline, no surprises, I suppose, that you are really angry about this. What do you make of what the Home Secretary told me a little while ago, that the government won't save the planet by bankrupting British people?
It's hard to know where to start to unpack that totally economically illiterate comment. The point is, as many of her own Tory backbenchers have been telling her, the point is that investing in the green economy is good for the economy, it's good for jobs, it's good for people's pockets. What is not to like, for example, about properly insulating people's homes, requiring landlords to increase the thermal comfort of homes so people aren't literally dying from the cold, people aren't literally having to choose between heating and eating. You know, the point is here that it's been long understood that investing in the green economy is good for the economy. And that's why even just this morning, you've had the Association of Motor Manufacturers, not a group that I often find myself in alignment with, absolutely saying very clearly that they want to keep the more ambitious target for the phase out of petrol and diesel cars because it's good for business. It's good in terms of putting the UK in the forefront of what's going to come anyway. So why don't we make sure that we've got UK jobs as a result and a boost for the economy in the UK?
What do you make of commentary by some who have said that this is essentially a political decision for Rishi Sunak to show that he is different to the Labour Party, to set aside a difference? They look at what happened in the Uxbridge by-election, where Labour Party was really suffered. They thought that was possibly because of the ULEZ discussion here in London. If this is a decision that's been taken because Rishi Sunak thinks it will buy him more votes at the general election, what would your response be?
My response would be that he's wrong and that he's taking a huge gamble with the lives of people in this country, but crucially also in terms of people's livelihoods. We've had people like Simon Clarke, a backbench Tory MP right now who represents a Red Wall constituency, a former cabinet minister, saying that his constituents want investment in the green economy. They want the kinds of jobs that they know are part of that. And so I think that what Rishi Sunak is doing is electorally stupid as well as environmentally hugely damaging. There aren't votes in doing this. His own Tory backbenchers are telling him that. And meanwhile, to think that you're just going to play party political games with a broad consensus that we've had in this country that climate change is real and happening. We've had disagreements about how fast to go in terms of trying to address it, but essentially there's been a consensus that this is a major issue that we need to respond to. If this is the beginning of the breakdown of that consensus, if we're going to start to see the kinds of polarization in the UK that is now typical in the United States, then that is a terribly grim prospect. I think Chris Skidmore, the Tory MP, is absolutely right when he says that this would be the biggest misstep of this Prime Minister, I would add probably of any Prime Minister in the last 20 years.
But when we spoke to the Labour Party, as we did just an hour ago, I mean, it seemed to be that they weren't enormously clear about whether, they certainly didn't say wholeheartedly that they would stick to 2030. That was not said. So it does appear that the Labour Party too will maybe see this as a political opportunity to say, well, hang on, we don't have to do it either if the government isn't going to do it.
Just the whole framing of that debate is so wrong because, as I keep saying, there are economic benefits from moving in this direction. And yes, in the short term, for example, when people have to change their boilers, they're going to need financial support in order to be able to do that. And the government certainly needs to deliver that. But every single piece of evidence that there is out there demonstrates that by acting now to address the climate emergency, it's far cheaper, and it also, from an economic point of view, gives the UK the opportunity and the advantage of moving as one of the earlier movers. So it just simply makes no economic sense, and it certainly doesn't make environmental sense either. And if Labour is serious about not rising to this challenge, then that would be the biggest act of irresponsibility from a party of opposition that I've heard of.
Caroline Lucas, good to talk to you today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.